I'm public speaking coach Dasha Dolla Smirnova, and today I'm going to give you my top tips on how to speak confidently in public. Know what you're going to be presenting or speaking off by heart. Don't try to rely on your slides or your notes to prompt you. It's important to think about what you can control in that situation and what you can't. And knowing your content is something you can control and prepare. So then you've freed up your headspace for anything else that might happen that's out of your control. Quite often when you don't feel very confident, your back will actually collapse and you can feel your posture folding in on yourself. If you force yourself to stand up straight and straighten your shoulders, even though you might not be feeling like that confident, actually the act of doing that and the act of taking up space will help you feel more confident. It's important to look your audience in the eyes so they feel like you're engaging with them. It also helps you demystify the whole thing around the audience being this scary entity that are out to get you or to judge you in some way. A little trick is to actually look people here. It still gives the illusion of looking people in the eye, but you don't just quite connect. So if you happen to look at somebody who's thinking about a really bad dinner they had last night and they have a really funny expression, you're not going to necessarily notice it if you just look here. And obviously if you're presenting online, then look down the camera on your laptop or your computer. It's really important because actually connecting with an audience online is even more difficult because you're having to work over the screens. If we're nervous, we will have a shallow breath that's up in our upper chest. If we start to use a deeper stomach breath, and if you've done things like yoga, Pilates, you'll be familiar with it, it helps you really calm down and focus your mind. If you stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and then just make sure your back is nice and straight, your shoulders are down, and then put a hand on your stomach just above your belly button, and then close your eyes. Try and relax your stomach muscles so your bellies are nice and soft. And then start taking some breaths in your own time, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just notice what happens to your chest. And make sure your chest isn't moving, and so that your breath is going in here, into your stomach. So you're going Diction is basically the shapes we make with our mouth and our tongue and our whole face. And these are the shapes that make speech. If you don't have very good diction, no one's going to understand what you're saying. A really good way to practice or to sharpen and improve your diction is through tongue twisters. First, you do them really slowly and you sort of overpronounce each sound. So you go, she sells seashells by the seashore. And you're really kind of stretching your mouth around each sound. And then it's much easier to speed up. So she sells seashells by the seashore. We are our own worst critic. And we have a natural tendency to focus on the negative. Next time you do a talk or presentation, when you finish, force yourself to focus on the positives. Think about what you did well. Then the next time you're preparing for a talk, go back and look at those things you did well last time. So you're starting to build from a positive place as opposed to focusing on previous mistakes and worrying, oh, well, I did that mistake last time, I'm gonna do it again because I always make these mistakes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about me and my process, check out my course in Domestika.